Hey everybody, this is the House of Hamm. I am the Empress of the Manor, Miss Monee, and down here we've got
Lady of Shade.
That's right, we've got Miss Lisa, the Lady of Shade, and today I'm very excited. We have a special guest. She's a great friend to the House of Hamm, and we are going to call her Lady Hazington. This is Amanda Dunn.
Hi.
We're very excited to have her.
Yes.
We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna hang out. We're gonna discuss some topics. We're gonna talk about what we're working on, and don't forget at the end we're gonna have a full-chested fail. All right. So now let's get into it. Okay, so now we're going to talk about what we're working on, or how Miss Lisa's garden is growing, or, you know, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. What I have been working on, well, I did this. This is what I worked on yesterday. I did this yesterday.
It's beautiful.
And Miss Lisa's jealous because she can't wear these colors at work. I am lucky because my boss is always like, bring it on. What kind of crazy colors can you do next? So I get to do all kinds of crazy stuff, which y'all have seen the hair. So
Yeah, that's pretty.
And,
that is so pretty.
So Miss Lisa, what are you working on? How does your garden grow?
All I can say is cabbage worms.
No. Oh no, my cabbages.
This is the first year I've ever tried cabbages, and like I said, cabbage worms. Didn't know there was such a thing, really. But now
do they eat the leaves? What do they do?
They eat the leaves,
Oh my
and I think they burrow in, and I think that is causing some issues with the heading. They even eat holes into the leaves that are kind of curling on each other to do the head.
Okay.
And I'm just like, God. I'm going to have to get out there, pick out some cabbage worms, and probably, yeah. I mean, there's no way to get rid of them except, from what I've read, pick them off and cover your cabbage.
Oh, Lordy.
Yay!
All right, Lady Hazington and I have actually worked on some music together.
Yes.
Which has been really exciting. She's an amazing writer. Super
thank you.
talented vocalist. She plays keys. She's she's really smart. She's gonna have her degree in a couple of weeks. Yay! So, what else are you working on?
Let's see. It's been mostly school.
Oh yeah.
The most exciting thing in my garden is probably the stuff that I brought indoors to keep alive over the winter that's still going. I have a hot lemon pepper plant that is just going nuts right now.
So do they taste lemony, or is it just lemon?
There is a little bit of a
yellow?
lemony kind of flavor
Are
to
they
them
really?
once they turn yellow,
How
because they
hot are
turn
we
bright yellow.
talking?
They're not hot. They're like medium.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then, of course, the Meyer lemon that I brought inside.
Yeah. Exciting.
There are 2 lemons on it right now. They're almost lemon-sized now, just
That's
still
awesome.
green.
How
Nice.
So,
I'm afraid my orange tree might be dead.
oh no.
I don't know. Yeah, well, okay. So it came in this cute little bucket thingy, and I was watering it, not realizing that the bucket didn't have holes. So, and I'm like, eventually, and I had it in the house, but I'm like, what's that smell? So then I took it out of the bucket because it was basically the plant was in a bucket, and the water drained through that, but into the bucket, and it got stagnant and really icky. And
Did it smell?
So, oh yeah,
It's
and then
gone.
all of a sudden, all the leaves fell off, and I'm like, oh no! And so I took it out of the bucket and I set it outside in the sun, hoping that maybe it's not dead, but
Oh no.
I don't know. Or you
It's
can look at it on the way out, and you can tell me.
It's probably a
Don't-
goner.
No, don't say that to me.
Well, how long was it inside with those wet roots?
I'm not sure.
Did it? And you said it started to smell.
Yeah, the water in the bucket started to smell, and the leaves fell off of it, and I was like, "Oh no!"
Oh, we can take a look
So-
at the roots, but I think it's probably a goner.
Well, that makes me so sad.
I'm sorry.
Let's talk about your lemon pepper plant.
I know. I think we should show the viewers what the orange tree looks like.
I know. I'm like,
I
what
will
does it
take.
look
I'll
like? Yes.
I'll take a picture, and it'll be somewhere here, there, somewhere. I'll make sure everybody gets to see it. It's not going to be pretty, y'all. It's the mishaps of me gardening. This is the first time for me, so I just feel bad because when I went back to the store, I couldn't find any more. And so, because I was going to be like, I'm just going to go get another orange tree. Because at the time, they had
oranges,
limes, and lemons. But then when I went back, they only had limes.
Maybe I should get a lime.
And lemons. So.
Oh, a lemon. Was it a Meyer lemon?
No, it wasn't. I wanted the oranges, but anyway, I'm thinking
citrus is so hard up here, though.
It's so hard.
I know. I wasn't. And it was kind of me being kind of hopeful, but
you could try it if you put it in a large enough container on wheels. You could probably.
That's what we did with the Meyer lemon.
Yeah. You could probably overwinter it.
Yeah.
The real issue is I wouldn't be so hard on myself. That's not, it's kind of, I wouldn't even say it's a rookie mistake. I think any gardener can forget to check and make sure there's drainage.
Oh, okay.
Any gardener can do that.
I just didn't realize that it was getting, until I smelled it, I'm like, ooh, what?
Yeah.
Something smells like rotten orange juice.
I'm guessing that's when you know it's a goner.
Yeah, I was like, but I don't have any orange juice. And I was like, oh, no. And then when I pulled it out, I was like, oh, my God. Yeah, it was bad. It was really, really bad.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll do another little look-see, but I'm betting those roots are gone.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm betting the roots are gone.
Yeah, well.
You know what, though? I'm always surprised.
I gave it a good, honest try.
Mm-hmm. I'm always surprised how many things that aren't anywhere near our planting zone end up in our garden centers up here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like oranges.
Like
any citrus, because we're technically not in a zone for citrus.
We're really not.
Right.
We're not in a zone for
what citrus. What I thought was I could get it. I'll bring it in. Mm-hmm. When it starts to get cold, it'll be fine.
And
that was wrong.
And that actually is probably true to some extent, is what I believe. Like I said, I don't think it's a rookie mistake to not check for drainage.
Right.
No,
I think so. Any gardener could be like, I'll get it. Oh, yeah.
It was totally a rookie mistake. It's okay.
No. No. If you buy something in a pot, you can forget to check drainage.
Yeah, okay. Oh, all right. Well, that's what we're working on, or how our garden is growing. And I have two experienced gardeners here,
gardening all
and me, who is definitely a novice. So, yeah, on to the next segment. Okay, I saw this topic and I really wanted to discuss it. I would love to hear you guys' take on it. There are so many people kind of talking about it. I even heard them talking about it on the Breakfast Club. And so I would really like to hear you guys' take on it. Oh, boy.
Mm-hmm. What's a place that if the guy says, you know what, I want to take you out, we going out, let's go. And then he comes up with an option. What's an option that you say, nah, that ain't for me?
I mean, I don't do Applebee's and Chili's and Red Robin and places like that. But I'm going to definitely express that.
Why? Why? Tell me why.
Because I feel like those places are just like sit down McDonald's. I don't think there's anything spectacular about the food. It's all stuff that they're just heating up in the microwave anyway. They aren't. You go back in the kitchen at Chili's and Applebee's, they're not cooking back there. They're heating up frozen food. I could do that at the house. So let's go somewhere where.
All right. So I just want to point out, since we're probably not going to get sponsored by any of these people now, I might as well just say you might be right, but like. Cheesecake Factory ain't no different. You just happen to like the Cheesecake Factory. So for you, it's a quality of food thing. What if it's not a budget issue per se? Then for you, it's a quality. So if there are a restaurant that costs just as much or just as little, you'd be okay with it. You just don't want to be in a chain restaurant.
Yeah, and I don't even know if it's necessarily like a chain restaurant. I just, like you said, I want somewhere where where the quality of the food is gonna be good. Like, let's enjoy, if we're going to enjoy this date, let's enjoy the food. I'm a foodie, so clearly. So
are you willing to split the bill? What if the brother says, because, like you said, if he pulled up to the clinic, what's a place that if the guy says.
Okay. Oh, Lord. So the premise is there are certain places that women are saying they wouldn't want to go on a date. But because I don't really understand why, personally, as someone who dates. But what do you guys think? I'll share what I think as someone who dates. I think that that's kind of dumb. Personally, I don't, I actually, especially on like a first date or first meeting, I actually really like going for coffee. Like, let's meet at Starbucks. If we're gonna go, I want to go to a bar that where I'm comfortable and we can meet for drinks, where I know the bartender, or something along those lines. Or yeah, you could go someplace where you know the food is good, but I would not rule out a Cheesecake Factory, which I've never been, but I hear they have like an insane menu. Or Chili's or Applebee's or someplace like that. But honestly, I prefer to meet for coffee or drinks, just because coffee or drinks can turn into something more if you guys are vibing, or the conversation's good. But if it's not, it's 15 minutes. It's 10 minutes. I can suck a drink down. Like, okay. And I have actually had this happen where I met a guy for coffee, and the more he talked, the more I was like, I hear my phone ring, and I gotta go. I was just like, and I did. I was like, go, 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 go. I gotta go. Yeah, I gotta pick up my kid. I made up an excuse and I left, because just the more he talked, the worse it got. I mean, he what was it? When he first got there, he looked like he was about 15 years older than the pictures he had on his profile. And he then starts talking about how he has no job. He's got 2 women living with him. They're both pregnant with his kid. Ooh. And they're about to get evicted. And he needs a job. And I'm like, I could probably tell you some places to apply. I actually paid for his coffee and left. I was like, here, let me pay for your coffee, and I'm going to go.
Wow.
So,
Okay,
y'all,
first,
I have dating nightmare stories.
so you are kind.
You know what? Imagine if that date had been at a restaurant where you have to sit there. When the is my main entree coming? I need to get out of here.
Exactly.
Right,
I'm like, can I get the check, please? Look, I did. I paid for his coffee because I felt bad for him. I mean,
I wouldn't.
well, he didn't have a job, and I just.
I'm sorry, one of them pregnant women. Then he got back up the
He got
house.
pity dated by you.
I was okay. I will say,
Girl.
I was a bit younger and less experienced.
Okay, all right.
And so I don't know that I would pay for his coffee. I still probably pay for his coffee, honestly.
You're way too nice.
It's worth twice what you paid for the coffee to get
Get
out.
the fuck out.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. So it's like fear, but I also don't want to.
Yeah.
I also don't want to go through the I forgot my wallet exchange, or here, let me get your number, or for him to feel obligated to me in any way, because that dude, I remember he actually sent me a message afterwards, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I really enjoyed our date. I can't wait to see you again." I'm like, what the
fuck makes you think you're
in stereo?
I was. The only way you're
just like,
seeing me again is if I don't see you first, motherfucker. No.
So, I did. I felt
But
bad
make
for
sure you
him.
listen to our new music.
Yes. But yeah, I think it's weird that there's a whole like generation of people now who are like, oh, Applebee's is not expensive enough, or the food is not good enough, or
Okay.
Okay, hold on.
it's just kind of crazy to me, a little
on.
crazy. Okay.
She had the nerve to slander Red Robin. First of all,
Right.
anyone who's too good for Red Robin's onion rings can kiss my ass. First of all, I'm not spending 25 cents on you, and I don't want to spend I want to spend 5 seconds with you, just long enough to tell you you're wrong, and then I'm gonna leave.
Well, I love don't they have that campfire sauce?
Yeah, is that what they call it?
Oh yeah, and the bottomless fries, girl.
Come on.
Yes.
Anyone that's too good for that, leave.
Yeah.
Just get out.
She's like, you're done here. We're done here.
Okay.
There's a salad at Applebee's I love.
There-
Honestly.
And hey,
I know we're probably not supposed to say The
Is that the one?
avocado? Wait,
Yes, it's
it's just the Oriental chicken salad. Oh,
Okay, yes.
so good.
See, I
I know
love
you're
their
making the face,
avocado.
Yes. See, and I feel like I'm foodie-esque. I there's some things I don't like, but I cook. I feel like I know what good food is.
Oh,
And I feel like you can find good stuff at some of these chain places. Yes.
Yes.
You're like holding up your hand.
Yeah, I would like to say first, this is a different perspective, that when you're dating, you get to set your boundaries / parameters.
That's true.
I don't have much past that, except there are ways you can get a decent meal. Like, no offense, chains, okay, if you don't want to go, but you can always, and I mean almost always, in any town, find a hole in the wall Thai place that's probably going to serve you some of the
food
best
you've ever tasted.
food
That's true.
you have ever
Absolutely.
had.
And in our town, it's
So-
called the Taste of Thai, and it's delicious.
Yeah?
Oh yes.
Yeah, there's actually another Thai house that me and Mitchell love going to.
Okay.
And there's one I really love too.
Right. So there's 3 in Nilo, Spokane.
All right. So now we're going to get on to our next segment.
Hold on, I have one more thing to say about this stupid lady.
She's I feel like
What did you put
she's
in here?
venting now. I feel like she's venting.
Okay, so here's my biggest problem with the whole thing. Putting a barrier on something as stupid as what restaurant you're going to means you care more about that than getting to know the person.
Ooh.
And that's bull.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a jabroni move. No, thank you.
Okay.
Jabroni.
All right. And you smell it, don't you?
No, that's somebody that's already deciding like, oh, you're not good enough for me. Shut the heck.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just
because
saying.
I like a Crunchwrap Supreme. What if when I'm going on a date with this person, I decide, you know
Let's
what?
go to Taco Bell in the
I want a Crunchwrap Supreme. Is someone gonna judge me for that?
Well, I think
I might judge you.
I also think
Then I guess we have to break up.
I also think there's something to be said for, like, say, especially if you're younger at our age, maybe not so much, but if you're younger and say, you're saving towards something, house, a car, this or that, then you might want to date on a budget and say, I would like to see you. I'd like to do something that's going to be a little bit more, that's not going to cost as much.
Okay,
And that's
I'm
the
just
other
gonna
thing.
say,
She's saying, you must spend this much money just to be in my presence.
No, I don't think she was.
No, she was
I
saying
don't
it's
think
got to
she
be a
was.
certain kind of food.
But also, what I'm looking at her, she's closer to our age than younger.
Right.
And I'm telling you, from an old lady standard, there's like, I ain't got that much time left.
Okay. I see what you're saying. Nobody got time for that.
Nobody got time for that. My stomach, after I eat that,
yeah.
the date may be over.
Right.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay. Fair point.
And if you're around, she looks at like she's at least 40.
Okay.
By 40, you are probably tired of certain things and BS.
Yeah.
And so, just if I'm dating, which I don't do anymore, I don't got time for it. But also, if you are actually out dating with somebody, you're like, Chili's. I went there 3 times last month or the last quarter or something like that, depending on how much you date. I don't want to go to Chili's. I don't want to waste my time at Chili's. But if you're dating with someone and they are kind of cool, they're like, look, it's not Chili's, it's not Red Robin, which I like, by the way. I'm not saying I don't like Red Robin.
Right.
But I know this little place. It's not the best looking, blah, blah, blah. Maybe you've heard of it, Thai, whatever, or Vietnamese, whatever.
Right. Which, if you're a foodie, that kind of diversity
exactly,
is
it's like,
ooh, yeah, I'd love to try it. Yeah. So
yeah, it's a food truck, but it's probably got the best banh mi you've ever had.
Right.
So I'm just saying,
there are some good food trucks in town. All right. So for our next segment, we're going to move on to what would the aunties say, and today, Lady Hazington gets to be a guest auntie.
She used to be the young hot auntie that would help you get a fake ID.
The stoned auntie.
Oh yeah. Who will help you get a fake ID?
Yep. Just kidding.
I would never.
That's illegal.
Right.
They don't know my last name, do they? Right.
Okay, so this says it's the R-Reddit Am I the A-hole thread. And it says, boyfriend doesn't like that I have to walk down the aisle with a groomsman. Okay, so this is going to be short because I'm just confused. It may be I'm not seeing his side or not, but basically, me, 19 female, just text my boyfriend that my friend who's getting married sent me a picture of the groomsmen I'm walking down the aisle with. He then asked if we were going to link arms while walking down the aisle. He said that would be weird and it's a respect thing not to do that. I responded, it's my friend's wedding and it's what she wants. Then I'm going to do that because it isn't that serious at all. Is he being way too controlling or am I the a-hole for not seeing his side?
What would the auntie say?
Kick him to the curb. That's what the auntie would say.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. A respect.
Did she say how old the boyfriend was?
She didn't say how old the boyfriend was, but she's 19, which is fairly young. And he may be young or he may be an older guy who is controlling.
I was going to say, now I want to know how old he is.
That's what I want to
say.
know.
It absolutely doesn't say how old
Is
he
he
is.
old enough that young enough that he's never been to a wedding?
Right. But I don't understand.
Is he old enough that he's so freaking insecure that his 19-year-old girlfriend linking arms when they're fully clothed and in public makes him feel some type of way? My real advice is, girl, you are young enough to get any other boyfriend you want. Dump that fool. And maybe hook up with somebody at the wedding or not. But
right.
dump that fool.
For real. Oh, wait.
You're
There's
an asshole to yourself if you keep that fool.
Oh, right.
And we're not doing that anymore. No more being the asshole to ourselves.
Right.
That's it.
Okay.
That's what
Well,
the auntie would say.
there's an update.
Oh.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
So the update, it says, my other friend, who is also a bridesmaid, told her boyfriend, we both got sent pictures of guys we're walking down the aisle with, as it's a new trend on TikTok. And then it says, and he reacted almost the same way. Her boyfriend responded, wow, you're walking down the aisle with him? That's beautiful. Might as well hold his hand too. Or something along those lines. Very sarcastic. And then she says, and yep, you guessed it. Our boyfriends are friends. Maybe,
Okay, hold on.
their boyfriends need to be boyfriends.
Okay, hold on. The bride is part of the problem.
Why is the bride part of the problem?
Because why is there a trend of, ooh, look at this guy that you're walking down the aisle with? Talk about starting a fire in somebody's relationship for no freaking reason.
I don't know if I feel like the bride is part of the problem.
Because then you're treating it like a dating reality show almost. Like,
Okay.
why are you making a big deal? The thing to do if this person is in a relationship, like, don't make such a big deal out of, oh, this is who you're walking down the aisle with. Like, why draw so much attention to it? That's causing a huge problem. Why not just think of it as like, yeah. When they get there, it's like, okay, you're going to walk down the aisle with so-and-so at the rehearsal dinner. But, like, making a big deal out of it and making it into this whole social media trend.
Because of it being like a TikTok trend.
That is a little disrespectful to the relationships that they're in.
I don't know that the boyfriend's reaction is okay either.
No, it's
So
No, of course not.
I can see your point about the being the toxic TikTok trends and all that BS. Okay, I get that.
Yeah.
But what I feel like is the bigger problem is the reaction of the boyfriend.
yes.
Only
Now that's
because
true.
I'm sorry, walking down the aisle, a bridesmaid walking down the aisle with a groom is a wedding tradition.
Are you a groomsman?
With a groomsman, yes.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
it's a wedding tradition.
It's a wedding tradition.
Everybody does it.
And it doesn't have to mean that you are a couple with them or anything. And walking down the aisle with them, even with your arm length, is not a show of disrespect to a man.
No.
How insecure of a man are you?
That's what I want to know.
If you feel like that is just showing disrespect.
Well, let me ask now, if we're reversed and a couple of the groomsmen who are supposedly hot, I guess, what if their girlfriends were like, why are you touching other girls? Why are you walking down the aisle with her? Look at that dress. It shows her shoulders.
Oh my God.
I mean, what would we say?
Oh, really? Like,
it's like, who are these people dating?
if the shoe was on the other foot, there's probably a lot of girls that would not react positively
You're right.
to that.
You are correct.
But then you would be telling them what?
Why are
What
you
is
being
wrong with
insecure?
you?
You're overreacting, that
Yes.
kind of thing. So I get what you were saying about the bride being part of the problem by trying to do some
TikTok
ridiculous
trend.
TikTok trend.
But that's
I
also,
get that.
I'm guessing there's some age stuff in there too, because she said she was 19. That means her, one of the other bridesmaids is probably around the same age. Maybe they're all too young for
Immature.
this.
Yeah.
They might need a little more maturity.
Okay.
Because how old is the bride and groom? But I mean, if you're a bride and a groom and you're following TikTok trends,
right?
Maybe you're not.
Maybe you need to wait a couple more years before you're even thinking about getting married.
Yeah.
This sounds like a bunch of immature kids being immature kids, and they're all the asshole.
Maybe I don't know.
I feel like there's something we're not getting in the story.
Well,
but
it was a short story, so yeah.
But for her question, her original question, am I being the asshole here? No, absolutely not. But you may be being the asshole to yourself
by
if you stay with someone like that. And the other bridesmaid may want to reconsider also.
Yeah.
If you're all a bunch of young people, from our standpoint, I know from their standpoint, this is life or death. And oh my God. From our standpoint, it's like, you're young.
You'll find somebody.
You're probably going to have a few more girlfriends, boyfriends, go to a few more weddings, maybe
even a few more weddings from this particular person.
Oh God, let's hope not.
Have to have some divorce celebrations.
Let's hope not.
I want a picture of who they're walking down the aisle with for that.
Right? I'm just saying. The aunties would say, no, you're not the asshole.
You might want to examine
but
your
you might
relationship.
want to examine some other things going on around your relationship and your friend group.
Agreed. All right.
Young people.
Okay, so we're going to move on to the next segment.
Listen, I didn't. So I've been married twice.
Okay.
I didn't have a wedding either time. I didn't concern myself with any trends at that time because for me, the most important thing about that day was what? Who I was marrying and why I was marrying them.
Absolutely.
And I love the fact that, what my husband and I did, I didn't buy a dress. We got a license and his brother was ordained on the internet. And we just went and got in front of Snow White's wishing well and it took 30 seconds and then we went on Disneyland rides.
Oh, that sounds fun.
See? What more do you need than that? Screw these trends. Just remember why you're doing it in the first place. Do you need to spend that much money? This is my Can I Vent segment right here.
Right. No, but what I would also say to that is be true to yourself. Right. You guys are being true to yourselves, doing things you love, going places you love. And that's what I feel is important. And I'm like, TikTok trend.
Exactly.
What kind of nonsense is that?
Oh yeah. Well, but I do, especially when we're talking about weddings, it can be such a touchy subject just because, a lot of women dream about that day from the time that they're a little girl and what it's going to look like and how it's going to be. It's your time to be a princess and, and all that stuff. And I think that idea and the expectation can breed bridezillas.
Yes.
And also, it's like kind of what you said. It's not really about all of the stuff that comes with weddings and the things that can go wrong. And I mean, really a lot of money. It can be so expensive.
Money that could be life-changing if you put it towards something practical for your future
for
life together.
Or even for like the honeymoon, really. I mean, because that's going to be, I mean, instead of spending all of that money on the ceremony, spend it on the honeymoon.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
But, you know, but I think
bucket
it's,
list spectacular.
but again, we have experience that a lot of young people don't have.
Right.
So if we could go back and do it again, the emphasis would be on after the wedding, not the wedding. I know for me personally, I've only been married once, but when I got married, I basically paid for everything, did everything kind of myself. I mean, even a wedding on a budget, that's money I could have spent any place else. And, you know, after a divorce, you feel like, well, I wasted that money. Right. And that time, because of course I put in time, I did, you know, I picked out flowers for the cake and a friend of mine made the cake for me. The food, we had chopping parties. We had a chopping party and got together and made a couple of salads. And so, you know, I bought all this stuff and we all got together chopping vegetables, you know, for people to eat food. And,
did we do the cooking of the meat also?
No, we got the meat from,
so we paid
from what is it? Piccolos. It was Piccolos at the time.
I think so.
But I remember like I had a candy bar because I thought that'd be fun. That'd be cool. So I actually picked out all the containers for the candy, picked out all the candy, you know, but that was money that I could have kept in my pocket.
Absolutely.
We had a cotton candy machine and like all this stuff, you know what I mean? But it's all stuff that honestly, you know, I think I probably spent about $3,000 or $4,000, which is not a lot, especially when you're talking about weddings, because weddings, again, are very expensive.
But
that's $3,000 or $4,000 I could have used.
You put in a lot. We put in a lot of time.
We did. Because we made the centerpieces, and Lisa and I actually made the centerpieces ourselves. So I shopped for all the flowers. We put the centerpieces together ourselves. We put together favor bags. We put together, you know, it was a lot of time that I can't get back, and money I can't get back. And so, you know, but that amount of money would have made a great trip for the family to go on. You know?
Or a great honeymoon for you guys at the time.
Right. Yeah. Or, you know, or we could have fixed the car. We could have
down payment on a new house.
Yeah,
but what I will also say is think back to when you were 19, 20, 23, whatever.
Right.
Would you have listened to your aunties?
Absolutely.
No.
Absolutely. You don't listen to your aunties, you listen to parents. You want the wedding that you want.
Right. So
and that you've always dreamed of.
Right.
You're not even really thinking about, is this gonna work out? Because of course it's forever.
It's forever.
Right. It's forever.
Until
of course we
3
laugh
years later.
20, please, 2-3 years later, whatever.
I'm just saying.
But yeah. Okay, so now we're gonna go on to the next
for real.
Yeah.
You got some good topics
today. All right, we are moving on to our next segment, and we're about to do full chested fails, and that's
my favorite.
Is apparently Lady Hazington's favorite. Oh, wait a second. Well, we'll do Stony Snacks after full chested fails, because
Stony Snacks can be the next episode.
Oh, Stony Snacks can be, okay. All right. Okay, but so I'm hungry. So full chested fails is when someone gets on the internet and they say the most audacious things with their full chest. So here we go. We're going to get into this one. I saw this and I thought, oh my God. And then I thought, oh my God, what? I can't wait to see Lisa's face when she sees this. So here we go.
I'm afraid.
Oh, wait, this is. Oh no. The volume's
Sure, you don't want me to come inside for a drink? I'm an excellent bartender. Good with my hands.
I'm tempting. I'm just kind of tired.
Next time.
Okay. See ya.
See ya.
Thanks.
Bye.
Oh, and thanks for paying for dinner, by the way. Oh, but you can't come inside. Why not? Why can't you come inside? Oh, because you were nice to me all night. Ridiculous.
You sure you don't want me to come inside for a drink? I'm an
Okay.
What? Am I?
This was was her doorbell cam.
This was her door cam.
After the
After
date.
she didn't let him
Yes.
come in.
That was the
wasn't
doorbell cam catching him
after
after.
she wouldn't let him
Yes,
come in.
yes.
It's the first date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I don't date.
I was so floored by this, though.
She was way too nice about that,
Well,
first of all.
Actually, I've seen the longer version, and she has to tell him like 3 times no.
That he's not
That
coming
he's
in.
not coming in. Yeah, she's to tell him like 3 times he's not coming in. And that was the last time. He's like, "Are you sure you don't want me to come in?"
No, rapist, go away.
See?
That's like, I couldn't believe it. But it's this whole thing where, but I'm a nice guy. You know, because I've met some of those. I've been out on dates with some of those.
They're not, and they're never.
They're
If
not
you have to
really-
say you're a nice guy,
You're
you're
not.
probably not a nice guy.
You're not
It
one.
almost feels like it's a persona, if you will, but not like they're not like real nice guys, because real nice guys are actually nice guys. You know,
And
Yeah, they just are.
They certainly don't tell you how nice they are.
right? And why did he feel the need to come in? I'm an excellent bartender. I'm thinking to myself, I can spike your drink.
That's the first thing I thought. Was like, oh, he's excellent at finding where the roofie is going to slide in there.
How the hell do you get that guy out of your house if you do let him in?
Right, because
This
he was
is why
so insistent on trying to get into her house.
Right.
That it did seem kind of like it would be hard to get him out once he
Of
came
course.
in.
Well, if you're that insistent about getting inside someplace you're not invited, in fact, you've been rejected.
Well, and then for him to call her the B word,
Right.
as he's leaving, why? Why? Because she's kept her boundary up and she didn't want to let you in her house.
It's the first date.
And for me, here's what
The fact that she didn't drive her own car,
Okay,
and
that
he
was
even
what I was getting
knows
ready
where
to
the
say.
hell she
that
lives.
is exactly what I was getting ready to say. Is the biggest thing is, why did you let him pick you up from your house? I
No
won't ever
way.
do that. I'm like, I'll meet you there, you know, and it's just for me. And I guess maybe I'm like that because I have kids, and so I don't want some dude even
Just
if we're
showing up at
talking,
your house.
right?
Yeah.
I don't want him to be able to know where I live, show up in my house. I mean, if I don't know you, you're not going to be around my kids.
No.
You know, and so I don't want you to know where I live with those said children. So
Right.
that's why I'm always like, I'll meet you. But also because it can be dangerous for women nowadays to.
It's always been dangerous.
Dating can be dangerous.
It's
And so-
always been a potential danger.
Yeah.
It's just now that there's more information readily available, we now know how dangerous.
How dangerous. And I think men are a lot more, because of the internet, they feel a lot more free to say these horrible things
That they
about
used to
women.
keep to themselves.
Yes, they used to keep it to themselves, or it used to be locker room talk. And so what is considered locker room talk is, you know, a lot of men will actually just put it out there now. So
And see, that
I
is
think
why
it's a good thing and a bad.
instead of I'm tired, first of all, if she had a big dog, that was the time to let the big dog go to the door. Like,
Right.
roof, 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 my dog. He's not actually going to hurt anyone. And neither is this guy. This is Boomer, everybody.
I don't
We
know.
can't
I
see
think
Boomer,
if he felt like someone was threatening
I
us,
think
I think
Boomer
he would protect
does
his
have
home.
the potential
I
to
think
be.
Boomer absolutely does. I don't know about my dog.
Rusty will lick you to death.
Churchill, Churchill thinks everybody wants to be his friend. But he's a 126-pound dog that never shuts up. So if you don't know him, then yeah, you're leaving. So that was the time to either get the big dog and bring big dog. But if it took 3 times and she's still saying, I'm tired, it's like, no. As soon as he didn't take no the first time, she should have said, okay, listen. I told you no, and you're sitting here arguing with me about it. You have 30 seconds to get off my property or I'm calling the police. Please don't ever come back here again. That was the appropriate response. Not, I'm tired. No, you need to let them know much more directly. We're being way too nice to these pricks.
Except for a lot of women don't feel safe enough to do that. I mean, a lot of women do not feel safe enough to do that. Because the thing is once you get aggressive, men feel okay to also get aggressive. Right. And so that's why women
Women,
But see, if I had the doorbell cam evidence.
Society has also taught us that we need to be more docile.
Exactly. And that's exactly why we shouldn't be.
I agree. That's why we shouldn't be.
But if you're not going to be, you better have something in your purse to take care of.
You better have
exactly.
So not just the dog. You're going to need your taser, possibly your pepper spray in your pew pew.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because because women who are even polite have been killed.
Yeah.
For rejecting men.
Right. Yes.
You could probably look up the statistics now
and it is not
and be
pretty.
shocked.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the statistic.
Absolutely.
So what I am saying is she shouldn't have even let that man know where she lives.
Nope. Yeah.
Because
I would
that he knows.
Never, ever. Yeah.
Sure, she got him off the porch that night.
He could show up at
any other time. And he could start following and stalking her.
Right. And that was my thing was, why would you?
Why is he even at your door?
Yeah.
Why does he know where you live?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, wow. But yeah, that was a big, huge fail because
that was a huge fail. He couldn't even
wait
till he got away from the door.
The door cam.
Yeah.
Right. Because of course the doorbell cam is going to pick all that up.
Right. Yeah. So that's the real fail, which again lets me know or makes me think that he's dangerous because he couldn't even have enough self-control to wait until he got into his car to have his freaking rant. Right. He had it right in. Here's the thing. He could probably see that doorbell camera. Right?
Yeah, I would assume.
And these days, you can see the doorbell camera or expect that someone has something similar in some way.
And the thought is, so to me, the thought would be, he's not even interested in really dating her. He wants sex from her.
Yeah.
He's not happy he didn't get it.
He was mad, but his being nice didn't work. So it wasn't really being nice, was it?
His niceness was a persona. It wasn't his.
It was a transaction.
It was lies.
Yeah.
Liza Minnelli lies.
So y'all ladies, be careful out there dating.
Be careful. Or just stay home.
Says the married
I was going to say she's married, y'all. She's not giving good dating advice. She's married. But at myself, I would never, honestly, I would never let someone pick me up at my house. I just wouldn't. I don't care how it just, for the safety of myself and my kids, I would not. So
true. I don't think I would either.
Yeah. So.
That's if I dated. I'm too old for that shit.
Right. Now let me ask you. Now let me ask you too. If that had been you and you had just come in and this guy was on your porch, how would that have gone down?
He wouldn't have been on my porch.
Exactly.
True.
Exactly.
Never make it to my freaking
because he wouldn't have been on my porch.
Never. But I keep pepper spray in my purse, so he might have been on the ground.
Right.
If my pepper spray is still good.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Quick PSA, ladies, check your pepper spray. Make sure it hasn't expired.
Yeah, I probably have to check mine too.
But yeah. All right. So on that note, we're gonna get out of here. But this has been the House of Hamm. This has been a lot of fun. Thank you, Lady Hazington, for gracing us with your presence.
Well, thanks for having me.
And this has been so much fun. I feel like we've learned a lot about each other, and about dating, and about why Aunt Lisa don't want to have nothing to do with that ish. So this has been the House of Hamm. This is
Lady O'Shea,
Lady Hazington,
and the Empress of the Manor. We wish you love and light, and have a wonderful day or afternoon wherever you are. Bye.